that green thing is catalog management software for music publishers. This is the 8th episode of video tutorials. In this episode, we talk about support for sub-publishers. And it is enabled, while support for the administrators, shown in the previous tutorial, is disabled. This seems like a normal work, with a third-party original publisher. Yet, in the work list view, we find something curious. In the controlled column, it says 0% controlled, which is normal, because the only writer is not published by a first-party publisher. But, then, in the parenthesis, it says 100%, and on mouse over, it says with sub-publishing, for some territories. If we open this publisher, we'll find the reason for this curiosity. Here is a general sub-publishing agreement for the United States with aspiring avians. And, if we look at the CWR file, note, this is version 2.2, we have 2 OPT records under the original publisher, telling us that we presume they collect for the world excluding the US. And, then below the sub-publisher, avians, we have SPT record, stating avians collect in the US. If you are used to CWR 2.1, here it is. The same thing, just without OPT records. The only territory mentioned in the publisher section is the US. Too fast for you? Okay, I will do this slowly from the beginning. But, please understand that you will have to understand these things, and much more, if you want to do sub-publishing properly. I will not explain what sub-publishing is, I'll link to 2 series at the end instead. What I will tell you is that sub-publishing agreements can be general, meaning that they apply to all works by a publisher, and specific, meaning they apply only to some. General agreements are simple, as you will see in this video. Specific agreements are a nuisance. And, you'll have to trust me on this one, because we are not covering them in this video. Or any other video about TGT. When sub-publishing is enabled, you will have an additional section in the view for other publishers, meaning not your publishing entities. This section is called sub-publishers. You choose a country, then your publishing entity that is the sub-publisher here, and optionally enter a society-assigned agreement number. Normally, you can choose only one sub-publisher per country. USA is an exception, here you can choose multiple, but they have to be in different PROs. And the order matters. The first one will be used in all cases, except when a writer is in one of the other PROs. Sub-publishing in the US is messy. We can provide you with the tech, and know-how. But it will still be messy. On the other hand, sub-publishing in the EU is complicated. But if you know the rules and know how to implement them, you will be fine. Well, I can't go through every country in the world, but in general, it is either simpler than the US or EU, or it does not work at all. Of course, your client can be either an original publisher or an administrator, the works will still be sub-published. In this case, the client is original publisher for John, and at the same time administrator for Emma's original publisher. So, a complex case. Then registration will be a complex one, but as the client has 50% of perf and all of mech and sync, this will properly be transferred to the sub-publisher in their territory. While sub-publishing is complicated, we make it as simple as possible with TGT. Note that this applies only to the situation when you are sub-publishing for other publishers, not your own entities. Self-sub-publishing is really a hack, and it is even simpler, and it does not really require the sub-publishing feature. This will be explained in the next tutorials. Here is our Music Publishing 101 series, one of the episodes is about sub-publishing. And, here is an older series about sub-publishing that we made years before we released TGT. Here is the whole TGT series, and below are just tutorials. Please share with music industry professionals. And, keep watching.